right, we're back. Another episode of The Climb. It's a solo podcast. And today I wanted to talk about one of my favorite mantras that has helped me through a lot of tough times dealing with my mental health, and actually one that's fairly recent. So if anyone has heard me talk about the saying day by day, that's the typical mantra that I really held a lot of value when it came to my mental health recovery and everything, with my bipolar disorder ups and downs. And it kind of went back to the point where I was first dealing with a severe manic episode. And after that, it really kind of felt like all my life just crashed and burned and fell to the ground. And with that came a huge period of depression, something that I've never managed before or dealt with in my life. Everyone always has some sorrows that they go through or some sad times. But when I was 19, I went through this period of depression that I thought was never going to end. And unfortunately, at the same time, I was away from school. I had to take a medical leave of absence. I had to miss a season of playing football with my teammates. And everyone else around me, friends and loved ones were busy off either working professionally, or a lot of the friends that I was hanging with at the time was away at college. So the time frame was not ideal to be alone with my own thoughts and this dark cloud of depression kind of just swarming me. And I've talked about that period before, but it was really challenging. I didn't know where to start. I didn't know necessarily, what to do. Of course, I had to keep myself busy, but what are you saying to yourself when you're having these negative thoughts and thoughts of, self-harm and thoughts that are the darkest things that you may have ever have thought of in your entire life? And how do you combat that? And this being the first time it's ever happened to me, and quite frankly, some of the first time it's happened for anyone around me in my, life, or at least, with someone around my age, I was really kind of stuck at a crossroads of not necessarily knowing what's the best thing for me to do to take care of my health, but also to keep me going and moving forward to my goals and my intention of going back and getting my normal, I say that with, tongue in cheek, normal life, because no one has a normal life, and I will forever from that moment never have a normal life ever again. But what I wanted was to go back to school. I wanted to join the football team again. I wanted to be normal. I wanted to have a normal college experience. And that was really difficult. It was difficult for me to get by because the depression was so drastic to the point where I would be staring at the shutters or the blinds of my house and just laying in bed and just having these thoughts of, really not a great place to, talk about, but having self-doubt that I would never get there, that I would never go back, and that maybe this isn't worth living for. It was hard for me to get there. I would like to think a positive person, and to be in that space of self-doubt to the point where you're really thinking, is life even worth it, was a dark time. And there was a lot of things that brought me out of that hole. But one thing that's tangible that everyone can do is using a mantra, is to really living by a mantra. And my mantra at that time was day by day. And I talk about it often because it was day by day, but sometimes it had to be minute by minute and second by second, and that's okay. But that actually alleviated some pain in me, knowing that, hey, I can get by this. I just need to stack on this day. I just need to have a better day than I did last day. And if I don't, that's okay. I have another opportunity the next. And if it was really bad, if I was really in terrible mood and within my own thoughts, sometimes it was, hey, hour by hour, last hour was terrible. Let's have a better hour. Okay, I just had a really bad hour. Well, I have a chance at another. So being extremely specific with that mantra of day by day, sometimes hour by hour, minute by minute, second by second, it helped me. It gave me hope. I might have been experiencing a completely shitty moment in time, but I knew I had tomorrow. And when you tell yourself, especially when you're in self-doubt and you're questioning your own life, that you have tomorrow, well, that's something that no one can take away from you. Or that you have the next hour, the next minute, the next second, and that it's okay. It's okay that today in the present time is bad because you have an opportunity to make up for it. And you know what? As important as it was for me to get back to school, to get back on the football team, to get back to that normal life and normal college experience, I knew that I had to intentionally win the day. Every single day, I had to look at it and I had to go day by day. And if I stacked all the days on top of each other, my good days would outweigh my bad days. And that really helped. I can't tell you guys how much that helped me. Because when you have zero hope and you go from having no hope at all, that you just don't know how things are going to work out, having a little mantra, and it might not be day by day, but if you have a mantra and if you use mantras in a way to positively impact your stress, your despair, depression, your anxiety, whatever it might be, it gives you that hope. It alleviates some pain. And sometimes you're going to have to trick yourself and adjust the mantra as I did. Hey, instead of day by day, I got to go hour by hour. Sometimes I got minute by minute, second by second. It's a mantra, though, that I have adapted to even in my healthy, stable times. That day by day mentality has turned, as I just said, from a mantra to a mentality that with intention and purpose, things can turn around, but it takes time. And I'm not one to be patient. Having ADHD, I'm sure anyone else who has ADHD can probably attest to that patience is probably not the best thing that they are known for, but it helped. And that spirit, it really helped me be patient in the process, which I needed. It was the first time I've ever gone through this process. I needed to make sure I was stable. I had the right medications. I had the right routine. Everything was working in a way to go back to college, which was 4 hours away from my family. To go back and not only just to commit to my schoolwork, but to commit to an extracurricular activity of being a collegiate athlete, which takes over a lot of your time. To have the responsibility that, hey, listen, now that I'm away and by myself, am I still going to take care of myself? And so if I didn't have the day by day mantra, which turned into the mentality, I wouldn't be here today. And I'm really grateful for that. So people have heard that mantra before, the day by day, but I want to bring it to present time. Something that I've been using lately, which I think is really awesome, has a lot of ties into the past couple episodes that I've shot. Now, everyone can remember a couple weeks back, if you're a listener or you watch this. If not, go check it out. Great episode with Frank Venus as we talk about the headlights mindset, where you can get from New Jersey to California in the pitch dark. All you need is a car, a full tank of gas, hypothetically, of course, and headlights. And the headlights will show the road unfolding in front of you 20 feet at a time. And why that's important is in life, I have always gotten ahead of myself. I strive for large goals, and I'm very proud of achieving certain things. And one of them being, of course, going back to school, getting my degree on time, being a part of a college football championship, an award-winning football player, and getting my degree as well as a minor. And all of that has been intentional. But at the same time, sometimes you cannot control the process and how long things take. And Frank came on a couple weeks ago and talked about his process and how he's kind of just taken what's in front of him and realized that, hey, you just kind of take it one step at a time. And it's worked out well for him. And it's worked out well for a lot of other people that kind of deal with life that way. So much so, just last episode, we heard from Harrison Peasy. He's actually got a new last name of a couple years ago. And Harrison explained his path, and that his path was very similar to the headlights approach. But what he said was completely jaw-dropping to me. Even though my jaw didn't hit the floor, it felt like it did. He said that nothing is permanent. And I thought, wow, that's an incredible piece that is very simple and quite obvious, but we don't say it enough to ourselves, that nothing's permanent. And not enough of us are realizing that sometimes the road to get to California from New Jersey is long. But those twists and turns, you don't need to worry about the rugged terrain until you get there. So in my life, my professional life, I have been tasked with a new thing to do in my own professional career. And then it's had different twists and turns and the terrain that I wasn't expecting. Now, having those two interviews in the span of a month, let's just say, has really spoke volumes to me. Because I know that my mantra day by day works. But something along the lines of even reminding myself of focus cue, of headlights, and knowing that, hey, listen, things takes time. Just take things one thing at a time. And then having Harrison last episode say nothing is permanent. So of recent, I have been using a combination of all three. That day-by-day approach, that mentality, the headlights mindset, and that simple saying, the mantra that I love, that I really appreciate Harrison sharing. And if you guys didn't check out that episode, go back, check it out, check out the clips. It's great. Nothing is permanent. That spoke so loudly to me in a way that was so indirect. I wasn't looking for this type of new mantra and a new flair to day by day, but I got it. And I really appreciate it, to the point where the past couple of weeks, I've been in a good space when, after being pretty stressed out in a new situation, a new environment. And I've used both of those conversations to remind myself just a quick keyword, a quick mantra of headlights, just reminding myself of that process. And then adding a little bit of a flair to it the past couple of weeks after interviewing Harrison and knowing nothing's permanent. It's given me a lot of peace. It's supplemented a lot of the work that I'm already doing onto myself that requires time, patience, and effort. And I think that's the important part of mantras. Are they an end-all, be-all? Absolutely not. But they have a lot of power. Because how you're talking to yourself is everything. Whether we like it or not, where we are in this physical moment is exactly where we should be. And that's really powerful. Whether you like it or not, this is exactly where you should be. And you have an opportunity to make a positive impact on it. But if you're ruminating with negative thoughts, frustration, and you're not handling it the right way, whether that's talking to a friend, a loved one, even going to therapy, talking it out, eating well, being well, staying active, it can get really hard. And I'm telling you right now, the mantra will not be just the magic bullet. Nothing is. If you've been a listener for a while now, you realize that there is no magic bullet, that it's a combination of a lot of different actions and habits to really get the behavior change you're looking for. But I can promise you this, the peace of mind that consistently implementing a mantra, doesn't have to be any of the ones that I mentioned today, but that peace of mind of implementing that mantra will pay out in volumes, because it will reinforce that you do have the opportunity to better your situation wherever you might be. I had no business returning back to school after a few months. I had no business. It was probably, and with, no pun intended, a crazy thought that most people wouldn't have done. I was told not to do it. I was told by multiple people, don't go back to school. Don't go play football again. Don't go 4 hours away from home. Just focus on your health. And you know what? I didn't listen. And if it wasn't for the mantra to keep me in the mindset of keep moving forward with intention and purpose and taking care of everything else, I would not be here today. And I could say that across the last 10 years, that if it wasn't for my own mantras that sparked positive conversation within my own self, I would not be here today. So whether it's day by day, headlights, nothing's permanent, or something you think of yourself, I challenge everyone, go try it. Try a mantra that's specific to you and give it a shot. Let yourself be vulnerable to positive change like it did for me. All right, everyone. Thanks again for joining. Appreciate it.